Hi, Sagittarius. So we made it through January. We are now going to do the energy reading for the rest of January, which we only have a couple of days left, and go into February and see what you guys can expect. I appreciate your patience on getting this reading to you. That Saturn and Pluto conjunction that we're actually still feeling was really, really tough. And Mars being in your sign right now, which has been really fantastic, by the way. Having Mars in your sign has been really, really fantastic. But when it does things like meet up with this, like squaring Venus and squaring Neptune, and Venus and Neptune are going to be conjuncting tomorrow, there is definitely an air of illusion around life right now. And you could easily be getting angered by things that happened a month ago, by things that happened more than a month ago, by, like there could be things that are popping up in your brain from last year and you're like, why am I so angry about this today? I thought we figured this out. I thought that this was tabled or taken care of and fixed. And so pay attention to those things. And the reason why I say pay attention to those things is because you don't want them to surface again. Like that's not, this Saturn and Pluto conjunction is bringing things up for you. And that's really what the energy does in the sky, is it makes you aware of why you are feeling the way that you are feeling. If you would like to learn a little bit more about your personal chart, I am doing astrology readings now. So, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, Sagittarius. There's not... This was actually the card of the day, so I'm kind of not surprised that it's happening, because the planet Mars is in Sagittarius right now, and it's squaring Venus and squaring Neptune, and Venus and Neptune are conjuncting tomorrow. This illusion of things right now and the lack can be very strong. This is a time that you have to remember who you are. As we move into February, reminding yourself who you are on a daily basis and not letting the collective define you. You guys are really good about doing that anyways, not letting the collective define you. But I know that there are plenty of us that are looking at other people's lives, 5 of Cups, and saying, why don't I have that? Friends, there are still 2 cups here. And everything that you have in your life right now is exactly what you're supposed to have in your life right now. No more and no less. You can create more from this moment, but if you allow yourself to look at all of the stuff that everybody else is doing and all of the stuff that everybody else has, in this kind of energy, you'll literally get yanked back into it and be like, no, we're not doing that in 2020. We're not looking at other people's lives and comparing ourselves anymore. Like, people are finally catching up to what a Sagittarius truly is, where you guys, like Sagittarius and Aquarius, you guys don't define yourself based on how other people, that's your MO. That's like the normal Sagittarius energy, is to not define yourself by what other people think, right? Or by what other people are doing. Unfortunately, we are born into a life or a society where we're very programmed to believe that if somebody else's life looks better on the outside, then they must be doing more. They must be more blessed. They must be... God looks upon these people more than others, right? And 2020 is about, we're erasing that belief system. We're not putting ourselves out into the world in a way where we can be rejected, right? And when I say that, when you put yourself out into the world and people start to reject you, you have a choice. You can either say, okay, I'm going to keep you people in my life so you continue to reject me over and over and time again, or I'm going to go in a different way. And these people over here are really embracing what I'm saying and really embracing who I am and really embracing my true authenticity, right? So Like 2020 is giving you that choice, right? And we have the star. Oh, by the way, I am using, because somebody's going to ask, the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. My assistant Jesselyn actually turned me on to this. So, and I got it on Amazon. I know a lot of people don't like Amazon, but I don't like to leave my house very often. So, there you go. But, so we have the star with the Five of Cups. And that's the thing, is you're going to find your vision and your journey and the direction that you're supposed to be going in as we go into February. We'll have a Mercury retrograde in February also, and it's going to be in like communication will be very, very off for you guys specifically, because it's actually Mercury retrograde is happening during Pisces season, and Pisces is your fourth house, which is home and family, especially if you're a Sagittarius rising. It's a focus on your fourth house. So if you're trying to fix things in your environment with family or with people that you consider family, it doesn't have to be like blood related, right? But if you're trying to fix that and you're finding yourself like tripping over your words or not exactly like, you know, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do? The illusion of February and really like the first couple of weeks of March, to be quite honest, the illusion of that is that people aren't really perceiving you in the way that you want them to, right? They're seeing something different. They're seeing something like you're trying to give yourself, you're trying to put yourself out there in a certain way, and everybody else is seeing you differently. So this is an excellent time for you guys to really go within. And I know it's very hard sometimes for a Sagittarius to go within and like not interact with other people, but just for a couple of weeks, like just, you know, Mercury retrograde starts on February 16th. We do have the shadow period, and sometimes the shadow period is a little stronger than the actual retrograde, but we have the shadow period for 2 weeks. So the beginning of February until like the end of the first week in March, like 1 month. Right? And it's not even, there's not even 30 days in this month. There's not even 30 days in February. So I'm literally trying to convince you guys to stop doing the most. Don't do the most in February, okay? Think the most, manifest the most, allow yourself to create from a place within. If you're the kind of person that's like super, super grounded in your life and you know who you are and there aren't any questions about like your future and what's going on, and you're not like, the biggest way that this is going to hurt you is if you put yourself out there to get opinions from other people and those people trigger you with their opinions. That's what I'm trying to avoid for you guys in February. Because all of this that's coming for you, like, you're creating outside of this Five of Cups moment, you're creating healing and happiness and warmth and love and security for yourself, not for everybody else. When I say you're creating all of this stuff, this is not so that you can give your energy to the world. This is so that you can create for you. There's a very healing power to February if you use it correctly. And the sun with the star, I think that there are going to be some revelations for you with the Three of Wands as well. It's almost as if this, do I want to call it an aha moment? Not necessarily. It's more of a growth. It's more of an evolution process, like thought that comes to you. With the Three of Wands, it feels like you've been planning and now you're kind of on hold waiting, right? That's what that feels like. Okay. Ooh, and the Nine of Wands and the Seven of Wands. And this is exactly what I'm saying, you guys, is you don't have to do the most in February because Source's energy, when I say Source, I mean God, Yahweh, Jehovah, like whoever it is, whoever your higher power is, right? Because it usually Source is like your higher self. We are all sort of part of the same source, right? So when I say that, I mean the higher power that you think is smiling on everybody else is actually supporting you in all of your endeavors. especially with the sun here. Like, thank you. Like, hallelujah, right? You have not been forgotten. I know it sort of feels like you've been forgotten, but you haven't been. And you don't have to fight for it anymore. The the 3 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, the 7 of Wands. By putting down your shield, but creating healthy, loving boundaries, you can be vulnerable and protect yourself all at the same time. And if you're having a hard time doing that, the workshops that I have, the replays that are available, there's another new workshop on learning how to unconditionally love yourself that's coming on February 22nd. If you're interested in any of that, it's on my website. Highly recommend it because it's cheaper than a reading. The workshops, each individual workshop is cheaper than a reading. And you get so much more information. And creating your vulnerable and happy place is not easy to do. And so the only reason why I'm bringing that to you guys or suggesting that for you guys is I have had a lot of people ask me, when I say create that healthy, loving boundary and be vulnerable and protective at the same time, and they're like, but I have no idea how to do that. And let me guide you through it. You see, it's not hard to do, but if you don't know how to do it, you can drive yourself crazy trying to create that peaceful calm and that space. A lot of it has to do with your own awareness, being 100% aware of who you are and not allowing anybody else to trigger that emotional reaction within you. Because that emotional reaction within you that's triggered goes outwards, right? And all of this Mars energy, whew, bouncing around with Venus and Neptune, it's not fun. And it's not going to be something that's just over in a couple of days. Like because some of the things that happen in the next like 2 or 3 days now, like we're at the very end of January, it's January 26th. It's 2 days after the new moon. We've been manifesting like crazy. And now everybody's like really hot to get things done, but they are emotionally charged in a way that they can create damage in their life. And then you look back on it with the 5 of Cups and you're like, oh crap. Or you have these moments where you've evolved into a thought process and you're like, oh my gosh, now I can see that situation a little bit more clear. But you have to go back to it to understand it. When you go back to it, don't sit in it. Let's see what this 5 of Cups is. So, and this is the thing. The 6 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles are clarifying the 5 of Cups. I might have to blow my nose. It's so annoying. So here's the thing, you guys. With this combination, I feel like you tried to build something in the past, or you're having to like rebuild. You started to make something work, or you started to try and make something work in the past, and it probably didn't turn out the way that you thought it was going to. And there's a reason why things don't turn out the way that we want them to. Because we think we know what's best, and then something happens that kind of detours us, and it throws us for a loop, and then we think it's quote unquote wrong because it's throwing us for a loop because we know best, right? What if what we know isn't best, and what we tried to begin to create had to take a detour to get us on path to our best and highest good? So instead of, and I understand like if you're grieving a relationship or a person or a situation or something like that, if you're grieving something from the past, I am not going to take those feelings away from you. And grief can come with anger, and grief can come with sadness and fear and all of that, right? Allow yourself to feel all of that, but don't sit in it and don't create from a space of anger. If you're not creating from a space of peace and calm, all you're doing is creating more chaos for yourself. Things do not go smoothly when you're angry at stuff, right? You miss steps. And you're not seeing things in a clear way. Anger is very delusional, right? So is sadness. So is fear. And the reason why I'm saying anger is because we have all of this wands energy. Like, I feel like you truly, truly, truly feel this need to protect yourself because of something that happened, 6 of Cups, in the past, right? And it's almost like you tried to create something with that 3 of Pentacles, tried to build something in the past, and that 5 of Cups is saying it didn't necessarily work out the way that you wanted to, but you still have 2 cups here to create, to make something with. Right? So let's see what the star is. And those 2 cups, that's what the star is those 2 cups here. Allow your dreams to prosper in these 2 full cups that you still have. Allow your dreams to come to fruition. You know? It doesn't have to be 5 full cups in front of you for you to be happy. Don't be greedy. Why be greedy? You're like, but that person has 5 cups. They probably worked their asses off for those 5 cups. And if they didn't, that's not your prerogative. Doesn't matter how that person got 5 cups, right? There's absolutely no reason for you to feel that kind of jealousy. Green-eyed monster, right? Let's see what the star, oh, there it is. Why is everybody else's life so much easier than mine? Doesn't have to be that way. You know, you can live in joy without having everything that you want. Without feeding your ego 100%. Because awareness, consciousness, and ego do not reside in the same house. And that 6 of Wands victory and allowing yourself to see things from a really optimistic point of view, which is your MO, but it's been very, very hard to be optimistic lately. Let's be honest. Let's be real. My Sagittarius moon is having a very hard time. Like, I force optimism because that's the only way I know that I can manifest and create, is by allowing myself to be happy and joyful and optimistic. You see? And that 6 of Wands on the star is saying you are on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Your dreams are coming into fruition. Why are you focused on what hasn't happened yet? Why are you not focusing on what's happening right here in the right now and creating from this life space, the sun? Right? Creating from this life space of the sun. Best card you can get in a reading. Let's use that to your advantage right now, because, right? And that Saturnian energy, you could be dealing with a Capricorn or an Aquarius that might be shedding some light on some situations for you. But the devil on the sun, this Saturn and Pluto conjunction was not a joke. Like, it showed you, it gave you some clarity. It shined that light on the things that you were not paying attention to in your life. And it probably was you. You were not paying attention to yourself. You were too busy watching what everybody else was doing, or how everybody else was interacting with you. When you just turn that awareness, stop focusing on that, and you turn it into you, possibilities are endless, right? 3 of Wands. Endless possibilities. And they're all just like right there, waiting for you. Reach out and grab it. Let's see what this 9 of Wands is. If you're in a state right now, and honestly, like I said, that Mercury retrograde it's not that you're going to feel stuck, and maybe some of you will, like, to be quite honest, you might feel a little bit stuck during that Mercury retrograde, but I think a lot of it is creating that paused momentum for you on purpose. You might even force yourself into a pause. Like I sort of mentioned earlier, allow yourself to pull back. Allow yourself to not necessarily interact or engage with every single person that you come in contact with. We all know how friendly you guys like to be. But I guarantee you, somebody will stir up something. During this time, you will be stirred in some way. That Hanged Man on the Three of Wands, though, if you're not quite sure where you're headed or what's going on or where you're going or all of the things, right? If it's sort of still a question, like your whole future is still sort of in question right now, it's okay. You don't have to find all the answers today. You don't have to find all the answers tomorrow. In fact, if you just find one answer today and another answer tomorrow and then so on and so forth, you'll have 30 answers in the next month, right? 30 answers to your questions in the next month if you just allow one a day. That, for a Sagittarius, is a Hanged Man moment. To just create one answer to something in a day. Because normally, we are creating like 20 answers. Right? Okay, so Justice on the Nine of Wands. You could be fighting or you're like done fighting with a Libra energy. You could also be waiting on a Pisces energy or a Libra energy. Really, any of these energies, you could be waiting on a Libra energy, a Capricorn, a Leo, an Aquarius, a Pisces, anything like that. But if you're waiting on somebody to show up in your life right now, I feel like with this Five of Cups here, you're going to be waiting for a very long time. Sometimes you just have to let people go without closure, without the situation ending. Sometimes you just have to allow it to happen, right? You can't control that closure type thing. The Justice card on the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, the only way that you're going to create this kind of balance that you want into your life is to stop fighting, stop resisting. You've done all the work. Look at this card. See all of these wands that she already has here? She's already done all the work. She's created and she's exhausted and tired now. So she stops and rests. And maybe there's a little bit more that needs to be done, or you feel like there's something more that could be done. But every time you try to do it, there's a resistance to it. That means that you're not supposed to be trying to get that done. That means you're supposed to just leave it. Let it go. Let's see. Seven of Wands. Yeah. High Priestess. Okay. Could definitely be dealing with a Pisces energy, but this could be that Mercury in Pisces that's doing this. It'll start off in Pisces, and then it'll move back to Aquarius, and then it'll move back into Pisces when it goes direct. So that'll be interesting. Three of Swords on the Seven of Wands. Are you so shut off to being vulnerable that you are breaking your own heart? Sagittarius. Because, and it's not true that a Sagittarius is wishy-washy, and it's not true that a Sagittarius cannot be in a relationship. We are just so, and I won't even use the word picky, we're just so aware of how much we give and how much we feel that you really have to be the right match. And you are either the right match or you're the wrong match. There is no compromising there. It's like with Scorpios, there's black and there's white, there's no gray. With Sagittarius, when it comes to love and affection, You want to be, I mean, like, you want to be able to give it. You want to be able to give your love and affection to people and allow them to see that and feel that, right? But you're aware that you can also easily get hurt. And so you hold that love and affection and vulnerability very, very close to you. And I think you do it so much. And maybe during this time, it's been so scary that you've created more of a wall, right? So I feel like these two cards here are telling you that you don't have to shut yourself all the way down. If you have healthy, loving boundaries and you become so aware, High Priestess, of how far you've come, 10 of Wands, and that you don't have to carry the burden anymore, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable with love and not bitterness or anger or fear or sadness or, you know, I mean, if you have to heal from all of that first, of course. But I feel like you are isolating yourself so much that you could possibly be breaking your heart right now. And because there's one thing to be alone and to heal, and there's another thing to isolate yourself because you don't want to be hurt. Two different things, right? So, Ace of Swords, Six of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. 10 of Wands and the High Priestess. You already know that you can put the burden down. And Pisces, like during this Mercury retrograde, again, you know, like get your work done. Like put your head down and do your work and allow yourself to do it without judgment from other people and especially without judgment from yourself. Just do it and get it done. You're going to have the energy to do it, but you're not going to have the energy to deal with the interactions of other people and do your work at the same time. You've got to pick and choose. And I know that that's kind of contradictory to what I said about the vulnerability aspect and opening yourself up to people. That's why I said there's a difference between isolating yourself to heal and isolating yourself because you don't want to get hurt again, right? You have to pick your battles. You have to choose your battles during February, Sagittarius, because if you don't, there's a very real chance and opportunity that you could hurt yourself. Because I don't even feel like, yes, maybe this is because somebody hurt you in the past, but I feel like this is all you doing it to yourself all over again. Because remember, when we have a memory of the past, our bodies don't realize, I mean, like our body reacts, like the heart racing and the blood pumping and the emotional reaction that our body actually has doesn't realize that we're not back in that moment again. It thinks that it doesn't realize that we're having a memory, right? It thinks that we're back in that moment again and we're reacting as if we were still in that moment. So that's why, because that's when you have to realize that you're still allowing somebody else to have power over your emotions. You see what I'm trying to say there? It's not about what they did to you. No more. Because what they did to you, it happened. You can't change it. All you can do is move on from it. And now you are responsible for how you feel. So you can choose to work being open and vulnerable and having healthy, loving boundaries, or you can choose to isolate yourself, shut down, and get your work done. Either way, interacting with other people in a triggering and non-healthy boundary kind of way in February will not work for you. Okay? And having that conversation with the earth sign, if you need to have that conversation with the earth sign to ease your mind, then do it. And if you can't have the conversation with the earth sign and you still need to find a way to ease your mind, you can find closure through forgiveness. And you don't even have to actually say the words, I forgive you, to that person. And maybe it's you that needs to forgive yourself. And that's the conversation that you want to have with that earth sign. Doesn't matter. But you can have this closure with the earth sign and move. That Six of Swords is saying you can move into calmer waters the Ace of Swords and the Six of Swords, you can move into calmer waters by choice. You can allow yourself to release that, right? And the Six of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. Remember, 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 giving your energy back to the creation through love, acceptance, forgiveness. And I'm not even trying to push love and light spirituality on people. Like, that's not where I'm going with this. I'm just saying that you can't create from a place of anger. And you guys have a lot of things to do in 2020. So you have to release that anger and that sadness and this Five of Cups mentality. Like, we're leaving this behind, 2020. 2020 is going to be full of the sun. Okay? So getting wrapped up, right? Don't get yourself wrapped up in some other people. Join me for the workshop. Join me for a reading, a personal reading. You can become a member also of this channel. You can get exclusive extendeds. You can get exclusive lives. You get exclusive, all of the meditations. I do at least 4 meditations a month, if not more. Join us for all of that. You can just hit the join button underneath the video. I love you guys. Have a wonderful February. I will see you for the love readings. Bye.